Insight-Nexus-News, examining the debate, should men compete in women's sports? November 14th, 2024. Hello, viewers. I'm Desrin, your Insight-Nexus News reporter, and today we're diving into a pressing question that sparked passionate debate worldwide. Should men be allowed to compete in women's sports? We'll explore the key arguments, dive into the science, and reflect on some powerful examples from history and today. As we examine this issue, let's remember the importance of fair and balanced discussion. And if you're joining us here, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, feel free to share your thoughts. Do you think current policies are fair, or is change needed? Let's get started. Historical origins of gendered sports divisions. The practice of dividing sports by gender isn't recent. It dates back centuries. Gender-based athletic competitions became formalized in the early 20th century with the introduction of women's categories at the Olympics in 1900. This structure was rooted in physical differences between men and women, strength, muscle density, endurance, which many argue are essential to consider to ensure fair competition. Today, as boundaries are questioned, understanding the original intent of these divisions becomes key to the modern conversation. Physiological differences, a deeper look. One of the core arguments concerns undeniable physiological distinctions. Let's look at some details. 1. Bone density and muscle mass. Men naturally develop higher bone density and greater muscle mass due to testosterone, especially after puberty. For example, in sports like powerlifting, sprinting, and swimming, these differences translate into tangible advantages, contributing to records that often differ significantly between genders. According to a study in the Journal of Sports Medicine, these physical attributes endure even after hormone treatment, leading some to question whether it's possible to fully level the playing field. Mem 2. Aerobic and cardiovascular capacity. Men typically have a greater capacity for oxygen uptake, which enhances endurance. This difference often provides an edge in events requiring sustained energy, such as marathons, cycling, and swimming. Such physical realities underpin arguments for maintaining gender divisions to avoid compromising fair competition. 3. Neuromuscular and biomechanical impact. The nuances of neuromuscular systems, such as tendon strength and reaction times, also favor men in certain contexts. These intricacies reinforce the notion that male and female athletes perform best within distinct categories, offering fair competition and acknowledging physiological diversity. Notable cases and current events in sports. The debate surrounding fairness in gendered sports has only intensified in recent years, with several high-profile cases. Here are a few key examples. 1. The case of Laurel Hubbard. New Zealand weightlifter Laurel Hubbard made history as the first openly transgender woman to compete in the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2021. However, her inclusion sparked international debate, with critics arguing that her male physiology offered her an advantage over cisgender female competitors. Number 2. Caster Semenya's journey. South African runner Caster Semenya's case highlighted another angle, bringing attention to athletes with naturally high testosterone levels. Semenya, born intersex, faced restrictions from the International Association of Athletics Federations, IAAF, which required her to reduce her testosterone to compete. Her case opened conversations on how best to define and accommodate fair competition without diminishing individual achievements. Number 3. Swimming's policy shift. In 2022, FINA, the International Federation governing water sports, ruled that transgender women who had gone through male puberty could not compete in women's events, citing concerns over fairness. This ruling created waves across the sports world, reinforcing the idea that policies surrounding trans athletes in women's sports are far from universally accepted. Safety concerns in high-contact sports. Another significant issue revolves around safety, especially in sports where physical contact and potential injury risks are high. Rugby, wrestling, and mixed martial arts are prime examples where physical disparities can lead to increased injuries for female athletes competing against male-bodied individuals. Recent research into the rates of concussions among female athletes has underscored differences in the physical resilience of male and female bodies in certain sports. Women, on average, experience more frequent and severe concussions, partly due to differences in neck strength. This finding raises ethical questions about safety when male-bodied athletes participate in female divisions of high-contact sports. The ethical and social dimensions. The ethical debate over inclusivity versus fairness brings many different perspectives into focus. 1. Inclusivity and gender identity advocates argue for a world where athletes compete in categories that align with their gender identity, underscoring the right to inclusivity. This viewpoint prioritizes an individual's experience and identity, suggesting that they deserve recognition for competing in the gender with which they identify. 2. Protecting women's rights in sports. Critics argue that inclusivity should not overshadow fairness. After decades of fighting for equality in sports, through movements like Title IX in the U.S., women have achieved hard-won rights to equal access and opportunity. Many fear that allowing male-bodied athletes into female divisions may roll back these accomplishments. 3. Open categories as a potential solution. To reconcile inclusivity and fairness, some suggest creating open categories where all athletes, regardless of gender, can compete based on skill. Others propose expanded divisions, including separate categories for transgender and intersex athletes. Though complex, these alternatives offer pathways that may respect both identity and fairness. What the science says about transitions and athletic performance. As the scientific community continues researching, current findings indicate that transitioning does not entirely negate male physical advantages. Studies reveal that even after years of hormone therapy, some retained advantages persist, including muscle mass, bone structure, and aerobic capacity. While scientific consensus continues evolving, such insights prompt further reflection on how sports should balance inclusivity and fairness. Conclusion. The issue of whether men should be allowed to compete in women's sports extends far beyond individual cases. It touches upon fairness, history, ethics, and evolving societal views on gender. As the conversation unfolds, there is a need for policies that both recognize gender identity and protect fair play. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Desrin with Insight-Nexus-News. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell. And we want to hear from you. How do you feel about men competing in women's sports? Leave a comment below and join the conversation. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next time for more thought-provoking news.